step away from having it all. Boyfriend, girlfriend, a fancy car. You're insatiable, and that's true. You just want more. Climbing mountains, crushing your goals, but you put your happiness on hold. Still waiting to start living. You need to know you're beautiful, you're perfect just like you are. Release your control, start to let go. Take a night off and let yourself go a little crazy.
Hi, and welcome to Run Tall with Tim. I'm Tim. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here and we get to spend a little time together. On today's episode, I'm comparing two Max Cushion daily trainers. It's the Skechers GoRun Maxroad 5 and the Brooks Glycerin 19.
A little crazy, crazy, crazy. Release your control, let your body go a little crazy. Just crazy, crazy.
Now, while both of these shoes are considered to be Max Cushion daily trainers, the experience that you get by running in them is very different. With Skechers, they feature their Hyperburst midsole foam, while Brooks features their DNA Loft. But before I get into it too far, I always like to demonstrate what it looks like to run in the shoes I'm about to review for you. So let's do that. But then when we come back together, I'm going to be comparing the Skechers GoRun Maxroad 5 with the Brooks Glycerin 19 to try to answer that question, which shoe is right for you?
Aren't you tired of the drama? You use your words like they are knives. I don't need that type of drama and trying to be tough all the damn time. You try to make yourself feel better by taking me down. Once I fell, but now I'm strong, I'm ready for the rematch. Shoot me down, don't you know I get up? Yeah, baby, I will fight. No, there ain't nothing stopping me. I'm bulletproof, I won't fall. I'm bulletproof, go on and shoot me down. I will always get up again. You're looking at me so cold. Get over yourself, are you for real? Why are you looking at me so cold? One's love is now we're enemies. You try to make yourself feel better by taking me down. Once I fell, but now I'm strong, I'm ready for the rematch. Shoot me down, don't you know I get up? Yeah, baby, I will fight. No, there ain't nothing stopping me. I'm bulletproof, I won't fall. I'm bulletproof, go on and shoot me down. I will always get up again.
The Brooks Glycerin 19 is the more expensive of the two shoes. They cost $150. They're also the heaviest of the two. They came in at 10.1 ounces for men's size 9 on my scales, or 288 grams. While the Skechers GoRun Maxroad 5, they cost $130, and they weighed 8.4 ounces, again men's size 9 on my scales, or 239 grams. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Run Tall family. I'm glad you're here. Now, I post running shoe reviews, comparisons, and shoe battles weekly, but I also like to post other videos related to running as well. So if you enjoy watching running shoe reviews and other videos about running, be sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time that I upload new content. Now, this video is not intended to be a full review of either shoe, but if you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description below to reviews that I've completed for each one previously. Now, both of these are neutral road shoes. I did order them true to size, and they fit me really well, although I will say that the Skechers does seem to run just a little bit longer than the Brooks Glycerin 19. So let's compare the upper on these two. I'm starting with the Maxroad 5 first. Here you can see that they used an engineered mesh material. There's lots of perforations up in the toe box and plenty of room to be able to display my toes, so I found them to be really comfortable in terms of the fit. And then as we take a look at the side of the shoe, we can see that they continue those perforations all the way back to about the midfoot section. They do have some plastic overlays here, so all of these stripes Now that's a plastic material that gives it a little extra structure to the upper as well as some durability. And they do have a little bit additional structure back in the heel to help keep you stable when you're out running. And then as we turn and we look at the Brooks Glycerin 19, here they also used an engineered mesh material, lots of perforations up in the toe box. As we turn and we take a look at the side of the shoe, you can see that they continue those perforations, not quite as far. They also have some quilted material along that midfoot section of the shoe to give it some structure as well as some durability, and to take a little bit of the stretch out of that upper material, because it is a form-fitting shoe, so there's a bit more stretch, especially up in the toe box. By adding that quilted material, you can use that lace enclosure system to be able to cinch it down and not have so much stretch that you lose the lockdown feeling. So I was able to get locked into secure in both of the shoes. Both shoes had plenty of room up in the toe box, as I mentioned with the Skechers Maxroad 5 first. So they're both very comfortable that way. And then back in the heel counter, they have a lot more structure or extra material with these plastic overlays or clips back here to give you some stability when you're out running. Looking at the eyelet chain, starting with the Maxroad 5, here you can see that they have a classic lace enclosure system. Now they do feature a lot of plastic overlay or material around the eyelets, both on the outside as well as on the inside cage. And then as we look at the Brooks Glycerin 19, while they too have some plastic overlays around those eyelets to give it that extra durability so that you don't have to worry about your laces pulling through, it's just not nearly as much. And they also have some extra material on the inside as well, again to give it some durability so you don't have to worry about your laces ripping through. And both shoes do feature that extra eyelet in case you want to run where the runner's not. And in both cases, I found that the eyelet chain, you know, they're a classic design, no big wow factor, but they do the job. And I felt both locked in and secure in each of these shoes, across the midfoot all the way back to my heel cup, and I didn't feel the laces cutting across the top of my foot on either shoe. So let's take a look at the padding on the tongue of each of these, starting with the Maxroad 5 first. Here you can see it's just kind of lightly padded. It's pretty thin, but it's still really comfortable. I didn't have any comfort issues. Now, it's not gusseted, but I didn't have any issues with it migrating around either. Now it does have this extra loop in case you want to run your laces through there to help hold it in place. But it's nice and wide wings. It laid flat across my foot. Again, very comfortable. They do have lots of perforations, and those start right at the base of the eyelet chain and go up about halfway. And then toward the top here, you can see that they have more of a leather or felt type of a material there. But I did find that it's really breathable, and in part because there is no gusset on the tongue. Now look, we'll compare that with the Brooks Glycerin 19. Now between these two shoes, the Maxroad 5 I found to be much cooler on foot, and I think the gusseted part of the tongue is a part of that reason. So as we take a look at the Brooks Glycerin 19, you can see that it's got a moderate amount of padding. It's not overly done, but it's definitely more than what's in the Maxroad 5. Both are very comfortable. Again, I didn't feel the laces cutting across the top of my foot at all in either shoe, as I mentioned a second ago. But with the gusset material, now that gusseted material, it helps hold the tongue in place. Obviously, it's not going to move around, and it's really comfortable, but it does create an extra layer of material, so you're not going to get quite as much airflow. And that gusseted material goes all the way up around through to the toe box. So anytime you have a couple layers of material for that air to get through, it's just not going to be as cool as what I found in the Maxroad 5s. Checking out the padding around the heel collar and the tab, beginning with the Maxroad 5 first, you can see that they have plenty of it around the heel collar, as well as in the tab of the shoe. I found it to be really comfortable that way. I wouldn't say that they overdid it, but there's plenty there to keep you comfortable when you're out running. And in both shoes, I did feel like my Achilles had a nice place to rest. I found it to be really comfortable. And with the Maxroad 5, you can see that they have this classic heel counter design here, so there's no Achilles heel flare. And they did add a pull tab to help get your shoes on. Now with the Glycerin 19, again, almost the equivalent amount of padding around the heel collar and tabs. I didn't really notice any comfort difference, and I didn't have any hot spots on either shoe in terms of the padding. They too feature that classic heel counter design here, so no Achilles heel flare. And they don't have a pull tab on the 19s to help get your shoes on. So let's compare the midsole on each of these. Now I'm starting with the Maxroad 5 first. Here you can see that they have featured their Hyperburst midsole material or foam, and they have a ton of it. They've got 39mm stack height in the heel and 33mm up in the forefoot for that 6mm offset from the heel to the toe. And then infused within that Hyperburst midsole foam is an H-shaped carbon fiber plate. but it's not a stiff shoe to run in like some carbon fiber plate shoes can feel. In fact, if I go to flex the toe here and up in the forefoot, you can see that that flexes pretty easily. So they still feel pretty natural to run in. And then as we take a look at the design or the geometry of that midsole material, Skechers features their M-Strike technology. Now that's just refers to how they sculpted this midsole foam to give it a nice, really aggressive rocker design that promotes a midfoot strike. And you notice that right away. As soon as you put these on, you kind of feel like with that aggressive heel bevel back here. So they have a rounded heel. They've got a really aggressive heel bevel. And then they really start sculpting that foam, moving up through to the forefoot pretty early on. So you do feel like you're really rolling through your foot strike even when you're walking. So it's really noticeable feeling, especially in the heel. Because I found that the heel feels like almost sets a little bit lower than the rest of the shoe. I kind of feel a little bit like standing on maybe a foam roller, how you're just kind of rolling through with the Skechers. Now with the Brooks Glycerin 19, they feature their DNA Loft midsole foam, and it's super soft to run in. They have plenty of it. They have 31 millimeters stack height in the heel and 21 millimeters up in the forefoot, so they have a 10 millimeter offset from the heel to the toe. And as we look at the geometry of that midsole material, here you can also see that they have a rounded heel, but they don't feature that aggressive heel bevel that we just looked at in the Maxroad 5. And it's really more of a classic running shoe design, so you can see it's pretty flat all the way up through to the forefoot of the shoe. So you don't get that rolling feeling like you do in the Skechers Maxroad 5, but they still feel really comfortable. If you're mid to forefoot foot striker, I don't think you're going to be disappointed in the Glycerin 19 at all, because I found it to be really comfortable to run in. Now, while both of these are a max cushion daily trainer, I do feel like the Brooks Glycerin 19, even though there's less midsole foam up in the forefoot, I feel like they might be just a little bit softer when I'm forefoot foot striking. However, that midfoot strike or the M-Strike design of the Skechers Maxroad 5, when I'm solidly midfoot striking or even maybe striking back on my heel a little bit, I feel like they're a more softer shoe. I also feel like the Maxroad 5 is a little bit faster on foot, maybe because they're a little bit lighter to run in, but also I think that rocker design just helps move me through my gait cycle a little bit quicker. So let's flip these shoes over and we'll take a look at the outsole, see how they're protecting all of that soft midsole foam that we just looked at. Starting with the Maxroad 5 first. Here you can see that they used Goodyear rubber, and they have it pretty strategically placed. They have it in all of the different areas where that Hyperburst midsole foam is going to have any kind of ground contact to give it some extra durability. So you know that these shoes are going to last, and you're going to get your money's worth. Also, you know, even though it's pretty strategically placed, I felt like I had plenty of traction when I was out running. I never felt like I was unsafe when I was out on the road. Now, taking a look at the Brooks Glycerin 19, stark contrast here, because Brooks, now they covered all of their DNA Loft material with this blown rubber from the heel all the way to the toe. So it's basically none of that loft material is exposed. A little bit here in the midfoot section, as well as this kind of a groove that they have back in the heel area. But other than that, it's pretty much all covered. And they did include some flex screws to help give you a more natural feeling as you're flowing through your gait cycle. Overall, if you're looking for a max cushion daily trainer that's a little less expensive, it's a little bit lighter, a little faster, and a little cooler on foot, then I think the Skechers GoRun Maxroad 5 might be the right shoe for you. But if you're looking for a shoe that is a little bit more stable, has a wider landing platform, does feel a little softer if you're a forefoot foot striker, and one that has a little bit more bounce rather than spring to your step, then I think the Brooks Glycerin 19 might be the right shoe for you. Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it for you. As always, run tall, run strong, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Aren't you tired of the drama? You use your words like they are knives. I don't need that type of drama and trying to be tough all the